Hey, you beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel, my video, my vlogging series. It is Monday, and this is week 4. This is episode 4 of my mental health journey. I did not post last week, but I'm going to tell you why in a minute. So, housekeeping stuff first. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my website, which is www.maimarshall.com. Follow me on all my social media, which will be tagged in the description box or wherever it's going to be tagged. And make sure that you have your notifications on so that you don't miss anything going forward. Yeah. Also, if you have not been following, this is basically a video diary series of me taking you guys with me along week to week of my mental health journey. So if you go back to episode 1, it tells you that I recently, decided to get back into therapy and kind of doing the hard work. And so I polled God's people and asked if it would be beneficial to kind of take you guys along by giving you week to week episodes or videos. It was 100% a yes. So this is what we're doing. This is episode 4. So if you have not watched 1 through 3, you should do that. I try to limit these and make sure that they're under 15 minutes. So that's why I'm going to stop rambling. So yeah, if you haven't checked out 1 through 3, check out 1 through 3. This week is a little delayed, but here it is nonetheless. So I am Maya. All my friends call me Mai. And I am just a regular girl who loves God, who loves God's people sometimes, who decided that it was time to be the best version of myself that I could possibly be, which required me to get into therapy. Now, I'm going to apologize ahead of time because I had to physically come to work, so you're probably going to hear outside noises. I will try to limit them as much as I can, but it is what it is. Life comes at you fast. You just got to go with it. So last week, or around last week or so, I decided to do I would like to say a purge or a fast. I had just been feeling really blah and really yucky. It may be something triggered in one of my last sessions, but I just felt the need to disconnect. Of course, y'all know, or maybe you don't know, most of my ministry and most of my branding and business, I'm an influencer. So a lot of my time with my business is spent on social media, email blast, being a presence and being present on social media. I had literally felt like God wanted me to take a break, but I didn't think that was God. I thought I just wanted a break because I kept trying to figure out how I could make my business work if I was off of social media for at least 7 days. I kept feeling the nudge to just take a break and like disconnect and just spend that time away from social media with God and, my therapist, my friends, whatever. And so I decided last week that I was just going to get off social media. I didn't make an exit announcement. I just got off. And I set timers for my business, to send out blasts and post or whatever. Thanks God for technology. So in my last counseling session, I don't know if we hit a button or something, but I just literally felt as though something was happening internally and I didn't have language to give it. Now that I'm at the end of the social media disconnect and just kind of being more intentional, I recognize what that was. I had literally started to downplay a lot of who I was. Maybe I felt like I wasn't good enough. Well, I didn't feel like that. The devil was lying to me, telling me that I wasn't good enough. Like, basically, who you think you are? Like, you're not that much of a presence. Like, just basically, Satan is the father of lies. So he was doing what he does best, which is lie. And I thought, surely I can get in front of a camera or on social media and tell these people all these great things, because in that moment, it wasn't a great moment for me. And so in talking to my therapist, I was telling her these things and she was just like, so what's wrong with saying that? And I was like, saying what? She was like, saying exactly what you just said. A lot of the times things get so caught up in social media that we only see everybody's highlight reel, and we'll take people's highlight reels and make them our reality or the lack thereof our reality. And she was just like, so if you pride yourself on being authentic and you pride yourself in showing up as your best self or as your realest self, why not share that with people? And I was like, well, I'm not about to get on a video or on social media and tell people that I'm not doing good. But then I thought about it. It's almost like an oxymoron. If I'm taking you on my mental health journey, I should also tell you that I didn't have such a great week or such a great day, because that's what mental health is. It's a journey. And so I decided that the next video should be just that. Me being very honest that I had gotten to a place of comparison, not intentionally, but basically looking at people's reels or posts or lives on social media or their presence on social media and looking at them for whatever reason, their wins made me feel like I was more at a loss or that I was losing because others were winning. And I, excuse me, I found that everyone in the comments were hyping these people up and it was like so much affirmation. But when you've struggled with childhood neglect or the lack of childhood affirmations, that child and the lack of the things that that child went through just grows into whatever age you are. So I'm 30 something. So even though I'm 30 something legally and on paper and all documents, the reaction that I was having was the childhood me who had been used to being neglected, the childhood me who had been used to being told that I wasn't good enough, the childhood me who told me, that was told I wasn't pretty enough, and all those things. While I'm not 7 or 10 or 12 anymore, those words that were spoken to that child were starting to play in my life as a 30-something-year-old woman. And my reaction to them were very much the child that were told those things. So I say all that to say, yes, I took the break from social media initially to just disconnect and try to figure out what was going on with myself. But coming out of the fast and coming out of like that unplugging or that resetting, I realized that it was a lot more to do with what was happening in my therapy sessions, matching or mirroring what was happening on the outside. So mental health is a journey. I've already said that, but I didn't recognize how intense the journey gets. And so I felt like I would do y'all a disservice watching these episodes if I tell you that week to week, it's a great experience and I love her and she loves me. She's a great woman. I love her, but I didn't necessarily like whatever she caused to shift last week because it caused me to do more work than I was necessarily prepared to do, but it was necessary. So I will say that my past week has been me feeling like I'm on an operating table, naked and exposed. And there's a lot of hard, intense work being done. And I'm not put to sleep. I'm not numbed by anesthesia. I am literally going through the process. So last week was not a great week. I learned a lot about things that I do to move past emotions that I don't like, to ignore things that really bother me, and I'll say that they don't. Those emotions show up in the most inconvenient ways. They show up. And so I spent a lot of time last week journaling. I cried a lot last week. Sometimes I didn't even have reasons to. If someone was to ask me why I was crying, I had no idea. I was very irritated because it's almost like you're touching things that I knew hurt, but the scab had gotten so thick over it that it didn't hurt to the touch. And now it felt like layers and layers had been peeled off. So now when you touch it, it hurts again. And now it's exposed. So it just felt like I was just oozing emotion. Not a bad thing, but a thing that I was not prepared for. And my mental health journey is definitely everything that I was not prepared for, but everything that I knew deep down inside of me that I needed. So I can say with a clear head and a clear heart that this week, I am in a better space mentally. I am in a better space emotionally. I am still in a process. So while I feel good today, I know that I need to continue to do the work, recognizing those things that don't feel so good, telling people that I have the access to no, and it being a hard no, not a question mark, a no with a period. For me, that even includes my family, my blood relatives, because I'm a child of sorts. I'm one of the younger generations. I've always been taught that, you only get one family. Family is all you got. But in my circumstance and situation, my family sometimes can be toxic. And if y'all watching it, I still love you. But the truth is the truth. You guys are toxic at times. And so I had to make a decision last week to go into a toxic environment that I knew that it was going to be detrimental to my mental health, or saying no and just dealing with people's hurt emotions and then thinking that I'm better than them. I chose the latter. I chose not to go. I said no. They don't pay no bills in my house. So I stayed at my house. I chose not to go to an event. And while a little part of me felt bad just because you're not supposed to tell your family no, or you're supposed to want to spend time with your family, I love them, but I can love them from a distance. And that's my own blood. But for my mental health and the sake of my mental health last week, I had to do a hard thing. I had to tell people that I love, no, I'm not showing up. I am learning to tell people no that I love. I'm not showing up. I'm not going to continue to pour into empty vessels with cracks, losing myself to fill other people. I am not going to continue to dim my light to comfort other people's view or eye scope of me. I'm going to be respectful, but I'm not a doormat. These are things that I've been learning in my week off, so I wanted to share them with you. I'm learning to be even more unapologetic about my truth and my authenticity, whether it's for you or whether it's not. I can't dumb myself down to make other people feel better about themselves. Everybody's stuff is not meant for me to carry. Even my own stuff is not meant for me to carry by myself. I have to allow God in to help me carry this stuff that I carry. But I definitely am not a person that's going to willingly take on other people's stuff just because they want to dump it on me. So that's where I am this week. So I feel lighter by putting down all the junk that I was carrying. A lot of the problem is not feeling the need to go back and pick it up. Because you don't ever want to just dump your stuff. But last week I dumped it and I just had to give it to God and let God do what He's gonna do, because He's way bigger than I am, and I'm okay with trusting Him with my stuff. But I wasn't a dumping ground for other people, and I had to learn that. Even the people that walked away, stop questioning why they walked away. It is what it is. If people chose not to, stick around, maybe I'll know the answer, maybe I don't, but it's not for me to spend the rest of my days toiling about why people left or why people didn't stay, why I didn't get invited, why people just won't do what I asked them to do. You'll spend so much more of your time, health, and energy wondering the whys, the what ifs, the why couldn't they. You need to invest more time in yourself, your own mental space, your own heart space. And if you need to get back on that operating table, whether it's mental health and God, or you need to reassess what you've been doing by looking at yourself in the mirror, then you need to begin now to let that process begin, because the longer you put it off, the worse it's going to be. And just having some really hard conversations with yourself and with God. Because on this channel, I honor the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And if that ain't your thing, then I don't know. The message still apply, but Big G, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. That's who I submit to. So you should too. But yeah, spend some time really having those hard conversations. Stop giving people passes to mistreat you. Stop giving yourself a pass to mistreat yourself. I was telling my therapist that I have people aren't going to talk to me crazy, but I found that the person that talks to me the craziest is myself, and I allow it. Why? I don't let nobody else's kids talk to me crazy, so why would I let Lynette's child talk to me crazy? And Lynette is my mother. So I'm learning to even have better conversations with myself and not allowing myself to talk to me any type of way. And I'm learning that no is a complete sentence. It's a complete thought. It has a subject and a predicate, period at the end. No. So let your no be your no. Let your yes be your yes. Put yourself first. Stop trying to be everybody's savior. We only have one. He went to the cross over 2,000 years ago. He didn't ask you to help. And just let your journey be what it's going to be. You won't appeal to everybody. You'll kill yourself if you try. Just enjoy where you are in the moment and celebrate the wins. Stop putting limiting language on your descriptives. I kept saying that I had small wins for the day. And she being my therapist, asked me, what dictates a win, small or big? If it's a win, it's a win. So stop using limiting language. Stop dumbing yourself down. Stop accepting things and carrying things that are not your things to carry. And be free in who God has called you to be. Know who you are and know whose you are. So those are the takeaways for me this week. So I'm sorry that it's been over a week since I did the next episode. But life was happening, hard work was happening, and I did it. So, yeah. Y'all, that's episode 4. That's where I'm at today in this moment. It could be something different next week, because I'm sure we're going to continue to do work. I have homework to do and things of that nature. But I can tell you that God has already saved my life, redeemed me, I've been set free. But with therapy and God together, it has given me tools that I didn't even know that I already had. I didn't know that I needed. I didn't know how to get access to. So the two of them working together is a yes, yes, and a yes. So if you don't have a therapist, I strongly suggest that you find one that fits what you need. And you definitely need a relationship with God. I'm not trying to baptize nobody, but I would do a disservice if I don't tell you that if you don't have a relationship with God, you need to start there first. And then definitely find a therapist that fits the needs or suits what you are seeking, and let them work together, because there is some incredible tag teaming power in God and therapist, the right therapist. So yeah, y'all, that's it. Like I said, that's it. I'm a little over 15 minutes, but that's okay. I'll try to edit it down. But yeah, so I'm Maya. This was episode 4 of my mental health journey, and we'll be back next week to see where we are. I might hate everybody next week. Who knows? But the work is being done and it is necessary, and I can't wait to see, even 6 months from now, what I look like to myself from where I started. So if you have any questions, want my therapist list or the link, let me know. Email me and I'll send it to you. You can find me on social media. Like I said, it'll be linked here. And make sure that you are subscribed to my website and my YouTube, which is also going to be linked here. So you should be able to find me. And that's it. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for taking this journey with me. And we'll be back next week.